first thing that you want to do is you want to share that with others. And that was one of the first things that really got me interested in book crossing, is making sure that as I was reading books, I really wanted to have somebody else enjoy that, whether it was the author, whether it was certain sections of passage. And this really truly speaks to the heart of book crossing and wanting to share that. Next slide, Matt. I know everybody knows the 3 R's of book crossing, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time going through this. One of the things, though, I will tell you, when I started going through and I became a book crosser and I got the welcome email, and it takes you through the Tolstoy version of how to become a book crosser, it's very difficult to navigate the 90 selections in the menu to start becoming a book crosser. And I can promise you that we are going to work on that, because we want to make sure that people are transitioning as quickly as possible so that they can enjoy the book crossing community. So aside from reading a book, registering it, and releasing it, whether it's a controlled release or whether it's a release in the wild, we want to make sure that people understand how to do that as quickly as possible. Next slide. You can just keep hitting the return button. So, a bit of the company. Again, I want to make sure that we just go through this for a lot of newbies, but 6th-year anniversary today, a little over 500,000 users. I'm going to talk a little bit at the end about the growth that we plan in the next couple of years, largely due to the growth worldwide of book crossing. We're currently in 127 countries. I don't know if all of you know that. I know we have some statistics on the sites. But it's been amazing to me talking with book crossers around the world at how they are building out the communities through the book crossing zones, as well as just getting new people engaged through Tell a Friend and whatnot. It's amazing. Coming up on 4 million books released, which is also an amazing Herculean effort by all of you in the last 6 years. There are quite a few books that are being registered and released. Matt's going to talk a little bit about how we are going to start tracking them a little bit more visually over the next couple of months. Know about the Webby Awards, and know about book crossing being placed in the Concise Oxford Dictionary. 2007, I truly do believe, is the year of expansion, and that's not through efforts that we're putting forth from corporate. This is through the growth of the communities. As I talk about the sort of core population of book crossing, which is sort of the 35 to 65-year-olds, we are seeing the largest percentage increase in our new users between the 6-year-old and 14-year-old range, which is amazing to me. And we're going to talk about why we think that has happened as well. Next slide. Anyone that's in business, anyone that's a consumer, would love slides like this. Love slides like this. You know, this is not YouTube where you're going into catastrophic error and 90% of the companies come crashing to the ground. This is all attributed to the efforts of you and book crossers. This is not through any major viral marketing campaigns that Book Crossing Corporate has put together. This is all largely done through Tell a Friend and through the local communities, which is why we're so proud of the efforts that you put forth. Next slide. I'm not going to talk a lot about the press. I will tell you that I'm doing about 3 press tour junkets a week in terms of, being on Skype and talking to the press in Italy and in Greece and Ireland. I mean, the great article that came out in the Irish Times was amazing. All of these things are done because of you and the local communities and getting in touch with these individuals. They're actually contacting our support team. The support team then goes into action to set up the meetings. It has been phenomenal. We have no shortage of press, I can assure you of that. Next slide, please. Next couple. Google loves us, 3.5 million hits. They categorize us. I do want to, back up one. I do want to spend just a moment on talking about this. The meetups / gathering / whatever people are calling it these days. It's a very local version of whether it's a meetup or a gathering, but this is one of the things that really initially attracted me to book crossing, the notion that it is bridging the online and offline world. Most people that have either heard of book crossing but are not really familiar with it or don't know about book crossing, when I walk them through it, the offline component of book crossing is what they are so amazed that there is literally 27% minimum of our book crossing community that is getting together on the second Tuesday of the month, sometimes more frequently, which I'll share you from the survey, and sharing in the controlled releases, spending upwards of 2.5 to 3 hours in these book crossing gatherings. That is something that is extremely powerful in terms of the community, and people like the advertisers that we're working with and others really appreciate that. So I want you to make sure that you understand that that is an extremely powerful portion of again, what the community has done worldwide. Next slide. So BookCrossing Worldwide Growth is just a quick slide to capture again where we are. I know that this comes out in the newsletter. This is from the last newsletter. Still predominantly, we've got about 50% of the membership in the US, but as I said, that is changing pretty dramatically. Some of the countries that are under phenomenal growth right now is Germany, Italy, New Zealand, Australia, and then we're also now starting to get an enormous amount of increased usage from Singapore, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit from some of the relationships that we're establishing there. Next slide. The statistics that I'm giving you now are all based on the feedback from the survey, so I want to thank all of you that have participated in that survey. We got well over 3,500 responses when we sent that survey out. Some of you may be saying, but I don't remember hearing about a survey. Well, part of the problem was that we didn't have the layout done correctly. Again, the site is very busy, so again, that's going to be changing. But for those of you that did participate, here are some of the statistics. This may not come as a huge shock, but we have about a 60 to 40% female to male ratio on the site. And for those of you that weren't sure who that woo-hoo came from, that was Skyrim. Who has been making the rounds around our global book crossing community. All you need to do is go to his live journal to see the posts, see the pictures, and now we've incorporated, much to my chagrin, YouTube video. We may have to take that down. 80% are between 35 and 65, and as I said, 60% now are between 6 and 16 years old, and that is the fastest growing segment worldwide. 72% college graduates, 30% post-degree. This was interesting to me. 57% earn more than 100,000, but 28% earn less than 20,000 a year. We have a really strong membership in South America, in some of our second and third world countries that are growing also at a very, very high rate. And so we're trying to do everything we can to support them. One of the things that, again, I love about BookCrossing is this is not an expensive proposition for people. As long as you have the ability to read at some level, we want to be able to support you in the local community. 52% read 2 to 4 books a month, which was amazing to me. 40%, even more amazing, read 5 to 10 books a month. I can promise you I am under the BookCrossing average, so I'm going to step it up significantly here. 48% are buying 4 more books per month. 45% say they are buying more books after they become a member. Yeah, and so when yes, exactly. And I want you to keep that in mind when I get to the very end and talk about some of the relationships also that we're establishing that really capitalize on that for BookCrossing as a whole. Next slide, please. 73% of BookCrossing members for over a year. 62%, which I didn't put on there, have been members for over 4 years. So amazingly, maybe not that amazingly, once people get hooked, they don't go anywhere. I mean, they are active, and what we consider an active user is somebody that comes back multiple times over a month. I think it's 3 or 4 times over a month. Many people, I think it's about 28%, come back multiple times a day. Track their books. And then some of you don't log off. I didn't put that statistic up there because it's still top 3 reasons you said you visit, no surprise here, register journal release books, read the forums, and then make entries in the books that you released. 70% have been members, okay, there you go. Why is that happening twice? Oh, that's why Margaret text messaged me and said that she didn't proof this ahead of time. That's why she did that. Thank you, Margaret, for giving me the heads up on that. Top sites you visit, this is also no great surprise. Cliff's Wish List, Rayback.com, Live Journal, news groups. One of the things that I've been talking to a lot of the members about and Skyping and whatnot is, you know, people come to BookCrossing and you do stay there again a lot, but then you also sort of bounce out to other areas. And I think largely historically, that's been because a lot of those services and features